everybody, this is DJ Gerry, and today we're going to be talking about Bob Dylan. How does it feel? When Bob Dylan went electric. Now you got to remember, before 1966, Bob Dylan was known for his folk music. He would play acoustic guitar and he'd play songs that were for the civil rights movement, Blowing in the Wind and Times They Are A-Changin'. And in 1966 he decided to go electric, and it didn't go over too well. So today we're going to find out exactly what happened. How did Bob Dylan get booed on 3 different continents? Every single show he went to. So let's learn a little bit more about Bob Dylan. He was born Robert Allen Zimmerman in 1941, and he was known as the reluctant voice of a generation. Legendary guitarist Robbie Robertson and drummer Levon Helm of the rock group called The Band, formerly called the Hawks, did not know what they were signing up for when they joined then 24-year-old Bob Dylan's band on his first electric guitar tour of the United States. During the sound check in the afternoon before the first concert at Forest Hill Stadium, New York, Bob Dylan told his band, "No matter what happens, don't stop playing." Guitarist Robbie Robertson did not understand what that meant yet. When they started playing, people started screaming, booing, charging the stage and throwing things. When Robertson started playing guitar at the concert, he wasn't expecting such an angry response from the audience, and he wasn't sure why people were so upset. Robbie Robertson heard about the negative reaction to Dylan going electric at the Newport Festival, but that was a folk festival. After the first 2 concerts were over, Bob said, "That was great. Let's do a whole tour." Robertson said to himself, "What is this guy on?" After performing 2 concerts, Robertson and drummer Levon Helm wanted to return back to their group, the Hawks. So Bob Dylan auditioned Robbie Robertson's group, and Dylan was so happy with their musical abilities that he made them his official band on his electric guitar tour. Robbie Robertson and the band thought that maybe the negative crowd reaction was just the passing phase. So they embarked on a tour of North America, Europe, and Australia. On every night and everywhere they played, people booed. They threw things at them and sometimes even charged the stage. Audience members would even call Bob Dylan offensive names like Judas when he was on stage. Concert goers became extremely hostile, yelling at Dylan from their seats, shouting phrases like phony and traitor between songs. In Paris, the French even jeered during Bob Dylan's acoustic set and during the electric portion as well. Dylan told the audience, "Don't worry, I'm just as eager to finish and leave as you are." The final 2 nights at the Royal Albert Hall in London saw the biggest walkouts of the tour, but there was some support. The Beatles, that's right, the Beatles were in the audience shouting down the hecklers. George Harrison denounced the angry fans as idiots. When the tour ended, the band returned to America feeling angry and dejected. Guitarist Robbie Robertson later said that after those shows, we were lonely guys. Nobody wanted to hang out with us. You know, normally when artists get booed night after night, they might say to themselves, maybe we're doing something wrong. Why do people hate this music so much? Is it that bad? What is going on here? In most situations, someone might even say, we need to make some adjustments because the audience isn't appreciating what we're doing. No, that was not the way it worked. Bob Dylan's advice to the band was play faster, harder, and louder. Lots of people were telling Dylan to get rid of his backup band because they were ruining the music. However, Bob Dylan never budged and never took a step back. Over the course of the tour, Robertson listened to some recordings of the show and he made some suggestion to improve the arrangements on some of the songs. Not that the audience cared in the least for any of their musical adjustments. This went on, and on another night when Robertson listened to the recordings of the show and said to Dylan and the Hawks, "How could everyone be so against the music? How could this be? The audiences are wrong. The world is wrong. This music is really good." That was when Robertson knew that he was in the midst of a musical revolution. Even though there was no indication outside of their own awareness and musical tastes that they were changing the direction of music, this experience made them feel bold and resilient. This was the turning point. Their attitude was, we are going to play this music and you are just going to have to deal with it. We are not changing a note. Bob Dylan and the band started playing louder, harder, and with more confidence as they preached their unwavering sermon of music. People started acting like, what is wrong with these guys? Why do they keep on insisting on doing this? There was this combative interchange between the performers and the audience. In order to be successful, you have to believe deep inside about what you are doing. Bob Dylan and the band actually felt what they were doing was really good and that everybody was wrong. In time, the world came around and Bob Dylan and the band didn't change a note as they paved a new path in music. 8 years later, in 1974, Bob Dylan and the band mounted the Before the Flood tour. This was Dylan's first full-fledged concert tour since 1966. The shows received an enormous amount of coverage from the music press, and they would prove to be very profitable. The tour had one of the highest requests for tickets in history. Concert promoters received 5.5 million pieces of mail applying for up to 4 tickets each. These were sold by mail order only. Promoter Bill Graham claimed that there were mail order requests for more than 12 million tickets for the approximately 500,000 seats available for the shows. Dylan's electric folk sound spawned the folk rock movements in the 1960s and 70s and influenced performers like the Beatles, the Byrds, Jackson Browne, Tom Petty, and the Eagles, just to mention a few. The electric guitar Dylan used on the 1966 tour sold on the auction block for close to $1 million. Bob Dylan, meanwhile, continues to perform electronically and acoustically. In 2016, Bob Dylan won a Nobel Prize in Literature and has lived on as one of the most influential artists of the past 100 years. The moral of this story is, winners never quit, and quitters never win. This is DJ Gerry signing out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. DJ Gerry.